You're not crazy. Society hates people like you. Not because you're wrong, but because you're too right. For centuries, deep thinkers have been silenced, ridiculed, or erased. Socrates drank poison for asking questions. Galileo rotted under house arrest for daring to prove the earth moves. Tesla died penniless while thieves stole his genius. Their crime? Seeing too much. But why does this happen? Why does society fear intelligence more than violence, greed, or corruption? The answer lies in a brutal psychological truth. Your mind is a mirror, and most people can't handle their own reflection. Today, we'll expose why society punishes deep thinkers and how to survive if you're one of them. Schopenhauer called it the curse of clarity. When you think deeply, you don't just share ideas. You reflect back the insecurities of everyone around you. Imagine standing next to a bodybuilder. You might admire their strength, but you don't feel personally attacked. Now imagine standing next to someone who sees through your lies, your excuses, and your deepest fears. That's what intelligence does. It's not about arrogance. It's about awareness. Neuroscience confirms this. When people feel intellectually inferior, their brain's amygdala, the fear center, lights up like a wildfire. Your thoughts don't just challenge their ideas, they threaten their identity. This is why history's greatest minds were exiled, jailed, or murdered. From Hypatia, the philosopher-mathematician torn apart by a mob, to Alan Turing, the genius who ended WWOT only to be chemically castrated for being gay. Society doesn't just reject truth-tellers, it destroys them. The psychology of mediocrity. Why society rewards shallow thinkers. Let's dissect the dirty secret no one wants to admit. Society runs on comfort, not truth. Think about social media. TikTok melts brains. Instagram rewards lies. Why? Because truth doesn't sell, it scares. Algorithms prioritize outrage, drama, and feel-good delusions. A 10-second dance video gets 10 million views. A 10-minute lecture on philosophy? Buried. This isn't accidental, it's evolutionary. Our ancestors survived by fitting in, not standing out. Tribal rejection meant death. Today, that primal wiring remains. Studies show people would rather die than sit alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes. Now imagine how they react to someone who lives in their thoughts. This is why confidence beats intelligence every time. Charismatic liars rise to power. Nuanced thinkers get called overthinkers. Schools reward memorization, not curiosity. Corporations promote culture fits, not innovators. The system isn't broken. It's designed to crush anyone who questions it. Schopenhauer's survival guide for deep thinkers. Here's the good news. You don't have to choose between genius and loneliness. Schopenhauer, a man who called humanity a herd of panicked monkeys, left a roadmap. First, embrace strategic isolation. Solitude isn't punishment, it's power. Use it to create, study, or outthink the crowd. Second, find your tribe. You only need 3 people who get you to change the world. Nietzsche had Lou Salome. Einstein had the Olympia Academy. Third, speak in code. Society can't silence what it doesn't understand. Hide your truths in art, humor, or metaphors. Van Gogh painted his pain. Kafka buried existential dread in surreal fiction. Finally, play the long game. Galileo's work was banned for 100 years. Now he's on textbooks. Turing's code-breaking saved millions. Today, he's a hero. Your ideas might terrify people now, but time turns radicals into legends. As Schopenhauer wrote, talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. 1. The biology of stupidity. Why human brains resist intelligence. Human brains evolved to conserve energy, not seek truth. Cognitive science reveals that critical thinking activates the prefrontal cortex, a region that burns glucose rapidly. To avoid this mental workout, most people default to the basal ganglia, where autopilot beliefs and biases reside. This explains why society instinctively dismisses deep thinkers. Your ideas force others into metabolic debt. A 2022 Yale study found that exposing people to complex ideas triggers a stress response akin to physical exhaustion. Schopenhauer unknowingly predicted this, writing, "The majority prefer the ease of wrong ideas to the effort of correct ones." Modern examples. Anti-intellectual movements thrive by framing intelligence as elitist, while viral misinformation spreads faster than peer-reviewed research. Your mind isn't just fighting culture, it's battling 200,000 years of evolutionary shortcuts. The education trap: how schools train you to hate intelligence. From kindergarten to college, education systems prioritize compliance over curiosity. Teachers reward students for memorizing answers, not questioning them. A Stanford study showed that 85% of classroom time is spent on rote learning, while critical thinking fills just 4%. This creates a populace terrified of intellectual discomfort. For example, math classes punish wrong answers instead of celebrating creative problem-solving. Literature courses dissect metaphors but avoid asking, why did Orwell risk his life to write 1984? By adulthood, most associate intelligence with stress, exams, deadlines, judgment, rather than liberation. This systemic conditioning explains why self-taught philosophers like Schopenhauer, who dropped out of academia, often see deeper truths. Schools don't create thinkers. They create servants for a system that fears independent minds. Third, charisma versus intelligence: why society chooses the loud over the right. History's most influential figures weren't the smartest. They were the best storytellers. Take Socrates versus the sophists. Socrates questioned everything but died hated, while the sophists, skilled rhetoricians, grew rich flattering Athenian elites. This pattern repeats today. Charisma hijacks the brain's dopamine pathways, making charismatic leaders feel right, even when lying. A Cambridge study proved that audiences rate confident speakers as 73% more truthful than hesitant experts, regardless of facts. Schopenhauer saw this, mocking orators who substitute passion for logic. Modern examples: politicians simplify crises into slogans, "Build the wall," while philosophers dissecting root causes get labeled overthinkers. To survive, deep thinkers must master the art of packaging truth in charisma's clothing, use storytelling, humor, or viral metaphors to smuggle wisdom past society's defenses. The digital dissident: how to weaponize your mind in the age of AI. Algorithms are the new Inquisition, silencing depth to protect the status quo. Instagram hides unpopular posts within 5 minutes. YouTube demonetizes videos mentioning critical thinking. Yet, this oppression has a flaw. AI can't replicate human depth. While bots mass-produce clickbait, your mind can create art, philosophy, or insights no machine can mimic. Schopenhauer's antidote to conformity, Solitude, is now your strategic weapon. Use it to write essays AI can't plagiarize, film analog-style videos algorithms can't categorize, or host IRL meetups disconnected from the digital hive. Examples? Philosophers like Slavoj Žižek gained cult followings by rejecting TED Talk Polish, while artists like Banksy use anonymity to evade algorithmic capture. The future belongs to those who think with machines, but against their logic. Your intelligence isn't a curse. It's a stealth tool waiting to be unsheathed. The rebellion of thinkers: how to thrive in a shallow world. Let's end with a challenge. Stop begging society to accept you. Start redefining it. Every revolutionary was called crazy until they changed the game. Use the system against itself. Post your ideas between the viral trash. Teach philosophy through memes. Hide wisdom in podcasts, tweets, or stand-up comedy. And when the world feels too loud, remember, the greatest threats to human progress aren't lies or ignorance. They're the quiet thinkers who give up too soon. Don't be one of them. If this video gets 10,000 views, society wins. If it goes viral, we start a revolution. Share this secretly before they delete it. Smash subscribe, hit the bell, and remember, they'll call you crazy. But every truth teller in history was. Now go hit a target no one else can see.